Hey y'all, this is Joe from St. Bernard Acres. I'm going to give you an update on the van and ask for some help, ask for some advice. This, just a reminder, this is my $300 van that I bought and have been fixing up, put new tires on it and getting it ready to go out on road because it's so nice on the inside. Well, it's kind of dirty, but you can see it's a very nice van and I want to use it. So I paid $300 for it. It had sat for 10 years, never started. And since I bought it, I've done some work to it, replaced things. The problem I'm having with it is an overheating problem. And the first thing everybody wants to say is head gasket, head gasket, head gasket. It's not the head gasket. We've already gotten past that point. One of the reasons why I know it doesn't have a head gasket, or doesn't have a head gasket problem, all of the symptoms of a head gasket, this does not show. Let me start it up. Hear that? That's at 350, baby. Yeah. There's no white smoke coming out of the tailpipe. There's no water coming out of the tailpipe. There's no water leaking out of the heads. No water coming out of the block. There's no water leaking anywhere. So what I've done so far in trying to diagnose this is I've changed the I want to pop the hood. I've changed the thermostat. When I very first got it, I noticed it was overheating a little bit. I noticed it was overheating a bit, so I changed the thermostat. It was really nasty, ugly, rusty looking shit in the cooling system. So I changed the thermostat. That didn't do any good. That didn't solve the problem. My temperature gauge was not working. I thought maybe it wasn't getting cold or wasn't getting warmed up. So I changed the thermostat in case it was stuck open or something. Then I changed the temperature sensing unit, and that made the gauge start working and show me it get hot. Then I replaced the temperature switch, which is another thing on the block. That didn't help anything. Then I changed out the radiator, the water pump, the hoses, the serpentine belt, all of it. Flushed it out as best as I could, here in the yard with a garden hose. This has rear heat and rear air. Did all that, replaced the fan clutch. So the whole cooling system's been changed. My thinking is I didn't get the air out of it when I flushed it. I don't have know how to do it in the backyard. So I'm going to take it in and get it professionally, flushed out. Because like I said, I got the rear heat, you got all that goes all the way in the back up front. There's a lot of coolant goes in this thing, and a lot of places to try to get air out. And another one of the oddball things about it It'll sit here in his yard for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, however long you want. It will never get hot. I take it out and drive it, and it gets hot when I come to a stop. I bring it back in to my yard. I put it in park. I rev the engine, and you watch the needle go back down. I put it in drive while holding onto the brake, and you watch the needle go back up to hot. Put it in park, rev it up, it comes down. Perhaps there's a problem with the fan. I didn't replace the actual fan itself. I replaced everything else. So, my first step I'm going to try is getting it flushed out and, with pressure. Excuse me. I know there's little channels and everything it has to go through. They may be clogged up, but there is no problem. Everybody wants to immediately say it's a head gasket, and I'm telling you it's not, because I'm not losing any water. If a head gasket was blown, the water is either going to be in the motor oil or it's going to be coming out the exhaust. It's neither one. My oil is still as clean as, we changed the oil and I've got maybe 20 miles on it. But it's good, clean oil. So I don't know. I'm at a total loss why it would heat up and then cool down and heat up and cool down depending on your, RPMs in the van, basically. So I don't know if that's indicative of a fan problem, or maybe when that temperature switch went bad and it's not kicking the fan on when it's supposed to, and by putting, giving it more RPMs, it forces it more. I have no idea. I do know it needs to be flushed out. When I take the radiator cap off when I start it, I don't want to take it off now, but you can still see little air bubbles coming out of it while it's running. It swirls around and you see the air bubbles coming up. So I'm sure there's still an airlock in there somewhere, and I'm hoping by getting it flushed out at a shop that fixes it. But I am open to any suggestions from you guys. That's the only thing left to put this van on the highway. You see, excuse me. You see, I've got a current inspection on it. It's all legal. I'm ready to drive it. I want to drive it, but I got to figure out this intermittent overheating problem. The thing just runs great. It doesn't smell hot, nothing, But I will tell you, because you don't smell that it's hot. When it does get up that hot, and I bring it here and I park it, I can hear it boiling or bubbling in the reservoir and in the radiator. But this thing is awesome. I'm not afraid of it being a head gasket problem. These aren't that difficult to replace the heads. It's not that bad, especially when you take this doghouse off and everything's right there. So that's the good news. But you can see maybe where the temperature is. There we go. Come on. Focus. And it'll stay there for the next 45 minutes. But when I put this thing in drive, just sitting here with it in drive, you'll see that temperature start going up. So any advice would be appreciated. That's how good this thing runs. This thing is a beast. I absolutely love it. and I want to take it out riding. But that's the update on the old van. Like I said, any feedback from you guys, I'd appreciate it. Anything else I could possibly check and look at, I would appreciate. Guess it's getting a little dark. It's getting hard to focus a lot. But again, this is Joe from St. Bernard Acres. I'm out here playing with my van. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed, because there's going to be a lot of adventures in this van. So you may as well subscribe. And you can check out my playlist on the van with all the stuff I've done to it. But thank you all for watching. I'm out.